Hey everybody, how's it going? Check it out. A company called H-Calorie or Calorie, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, said, hey, would you like to review one of our diesel air heaters or diesel cab heater or Chinese diesel heater? It comes with a bunch of different names and there's a bunch of different selections out there. And I said yes.
I like peanut butter. I like peanut butter. Peanut butter. I like.
Yes, I would. So I'm going to review this particular model right here. We're going to do basic setup, show you what comes in the box, hook it all up, see if we can get it to work, and then maybe cover some places where you may or may not want to install this sort of thing. So I'm not going to lie, I've been looking at these for a while, so having the opportunity to kind of get one, check it out and test it, yeah, it's a good deal. So hopefully this will be interesting to you. If it is, do me a favor, use the link that's going to be provided in the description if you want to buy one, save yourself some money, but it should be fun. So let's take a look at this thing and see, just check it out. Let's see what it takes to get the whole thing running, maybe apply some heat to areas that don't have it. So here's the outside of the box, diesel air car parking heater. So that'd be the magic search terms if you're trying to find one of these things or do some research on it. And basically these are kind of self-contained. They don't necessarily have to rely on diesel fuel from your vehicle. So if your vehicle doesn't use diesel fuel, as long as you provide the diesel fuel or diesel fuel oil or whatever you want to call it, or kerosene or even heating oil fluid, it should work because you really need two things. You need diesel fuel or fuel and 12 volt power. So yeah, you can use it in all sorts of places. SUVs, RV, truck, RV tent, indoor, vehicles, semi-trucks, whatever, man. So it has an accessory box, and what comes in the accessory box are accessories, things that you need to actually install or utilize the diesel air parking heater, right? So it has a silencer, otherwise known as a muffler. It has an exhaust pipe to basically take the hot air that comes out of the bottom of this thing and moves it away, nice. It comes with all the clamps and stuff that you would need to secure these things. It comes with the fresh air intake pipe, and it comes with a little filter thing to go on the bottom of the fresh air intake pipe, and it comes with this, I'm just going to call it a heater vent pipe. In other words, the hot air that comes out of the unit will go through this particular pipe right here. So pretty much with these ingredients you see in front of you, you can hook this thing up and get it ready to go. So in other words, this is really all you need to kind of get started. Let's pull this guy out of the box and see what we have going on here. Very nice. I think they call this like the computer case model because it kind of looks like a computer case. Anyway, this little guy right here, this is where the heat comes out. This is basically the good side of things. Got a couple handles on top. Here's your fuel tank. It's inside the case. There's the blue cap on top. This is where you fill it with diesel fuel, fuel oil, whatever you're going to use, kerosene. Here's a control unit, and it has clips on the side so that if you pull a case off, you can get to the inner workings. Also has your cables for connection. Let's see what's inside. Okay, so here's the fuel tank on top. We see some Jubilee clamps connecting the fuel tank. This is the fuel pump. What I'm doing, and you should do this with every one of these things if you decide to buy one, make sure you can check all the connections. Make sure they're nice and snug. So anyway, here's the fuel pump. Got the fuel line. It's mounted at a 35-degree angle. These things are notorious for being loud. They tick. So I don't know if this one's going to do it. That guy. So on the back of the unit is the wire bundle that you have right here. There's a fuse inside. You have positive and negative wires. They are bare-ended. And basically it says 12 volts, 15 amps. So that's something to be aware of. Okay, so I forgot about the remote. It does come with a remote control, so you can actually control the heater. But it's more than likely not going to have a battery. So if it doesn't have a battery, you're going to need to get a battery. As to why it doesn't come with a battery, I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with import or export, not being able to transport lithium. Who knows? It does come with a remote. Got to get your own battery. See if we can see what's up with this fuse. It does have a fuse, and it appears to be a 20 amp fuse. So if you're going to use a battery bank or a solar power generator thing, you got to make sure that it can handle the initial power draw as this thing fires up and gets going. Because a lot of devices do that. They have a surge of power that they need to use in order to get fully functioning, and then the power drops. So if you're going to use a device like that, make sure it can support it, I guess. So the fuel tank comes loose in this particular unit, and the fuel goes in, sits up in here, and it does drain out the bottom as it gets pumped up into the 35-degree angle fuel pump. So like I said before, definitely check these connections, make sure they're good and snug. Also, check the connection here, because with this particular unit, with the case on the outside, if it leaks, it's probably going to leak from here. And if it leaks from here, it's going to go down here. And if you get diesel fuel smell, it's really hard to get rid of. So it's just something to be aware of. So I've already checked all the connections and snugged and verified they were all tight, and they all were. And the fuel line at the very top is also nice and snug. So if we take a look at the top side of the fuel tank, it does have the green fuel line. A lot of people will say to replace this. It's such a short run from here down to the bottom of the unit. I'm not sure if that's going to really make a difference as far as the fuel pipe collapsing. Here's your connection. There's your other connection. And the fuel pipe or fuel line runs all the way down and goes basically underneath the unit. So the fuel line will go from the top and runs down and goes to the base of the, basically underneath the unit. This is where the heat is made. So this is the control unit itself. It sits on the front. There's a nice little cradle that this thing sits in, and you should be able to pop it out. Now, depending on how much slack is in here for basically moving it somewhere else, kind of depends on the unit. This one doesn't have too much. It gives you about an extra foot or so. So if I move the fuel tank out of the way, you get about maybe a foot to move this remote to somewhere else. As far as accessories go, there's enough of these diesel heaters out on the market. You may be able to find an extension, and you can always check H-Calories website to see if they have an extension cable. Because sometimes the extension cables are actually specific to the control unit. So this is the very bottom of the heater. Now if you're wondering how this goes, there is the fuel line right here. This is going to be nice and cool. This is basically where that small black fresh air intake pipe comes from. This is the hot side. So if you're wondering, when you hook this sort of thing up, which side does the exhaust pipe go on? The exhaust pipe, being the metal pipe, is going to go on the hot side. Hot side is basically away from the fuel line. So definitely want to check all the bolts, make sure they're snugged up. And be aware, you don't want any fuel pipe or fuel line touching the hot side. Metal goes here, the other one goes there. I don't know what the material is. It's that corrugated plastic stuff. This stuff. So this stuff goes on this side, and then the metal pipe, which is your actual exhaust pipe, which carries a lot of heat, goes on that side. Okay, so on this particular unit right here, these are 10mm nuts down here. I've already checked and snugged those up. I've also verified that there is indeed a gasket that goes between the base and the bottom of the unit, because you kind of want that to be able to seal out any threat of carbon monoxide dioxin leaks, because, you know, hey, this is going to take exhaust gas and fresh air. It's going to suck in some fresh air, but it's also going to take the exhaust gas from the diesel fuel and evacuate it out of the vehicle. So you can't use this completely inside. You need to have the ability to run the exhaust outside. So connecting the muffler is actually pretty easy. It comes with everything you need in the bag. The hardest part is probably going to be getting the bag open. So you're going to come with a couple nuts or a couple bolts to be able to install it, a bracket to be able to hang it, some plastic masking stuff to make it pretty. If you look on these things, if you decide to buy one of these for yourself after you've gone and checked them out and decided this is the choice for me and I'm okay with some installation, make sure you install it with the weep hole down so it can take condensation that may come from the combustion chamber and the cycle, because it will create some condensation. You want it to be able to drain out. So weep hole at the bottom, bracket at the top, and of course you want to use this in a way that gets outside and away from the fresh air intake. But yeah, let's go ahead and connect this to this. Alright, using the power by man hands, it's nice and snug. Looks pretty good. Now I think at this point we're going to we're going to put this fresh air intake filter, I guess. Combustion, I don't know what you want to call this. And we're going to put it on that corrugated black thing that I just threw on the ground. I'm going to screw it in because it looks like it wants to thread. That's kind of nice. Got it snugged up, and I'm going to put a clamp on it to hold it in place. Not the prettiest, but I think that'll do. Okay, so we're going to take this guy and we're going to put this over here. Remember, this is where the fresh air goes into the combustion cycle. So it goes here and the metal one goes on the opposite side. So if you see the fuel line, that's where this thing goes. And then on the other side, that's where that thing goes. So we'll take another one of these fantastic clips, which are really aggravating, and we're going to stick it on. Looks pretty good. Now keep in mind, when you put this on, you have to be able to screw it. So I'm probably going to go ahead and scooch it down and place it towards the inside, but I got to be able to get a screwdriver in there. So that's where you really come into some aggravation. So you have to kind of figure out what's going to be best for you. Good. Now they do the same with this guy. Good. So what we have left is the actual mounting hardware to be able to hang this guy and the silencer along with some clips and a couple of these bolts. 4 bolts. Which is funny because I don't know what they go to. Unless they go to the feet holes. That's entirely possible. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to set it up. We're going to put the case back on it and go from there, because I'm not sure if I want to do, anyway, let's set it up so we can get a better idea what it looks like now. Okay, so what I've done in order to sort of make the process easier for me to make up my mind, and by that I mean I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to mount it yet, but I would like to have the exhaust and intake all hooked up. I took some 2x4s and basically made myself some riser feet so this thing can sit upright, because it wasn't going to the other way. Because it kind of wants you to basically have everything set up and ready to go and just drop everything down and install it. But I don't want to install it without actually using it, so this is what I'm going to use. All it is just 2x4s, and I'm going to screw them there and give it a little bit of lift. Alright, that'll work. So yeah, once you get the case on, everything sort of sturdies right up. It's kind of weird. Everything is snug, everything is tight the way it's supposed to be. Feels stable and firm. Solid. Alright, so I have the hose connections made for the exhaust pipe and the intake, and here is the heater hose. I've got that connected with the other clip. Now I just need to kind of give you an idea of what I'm going to use for power to power this thing. What I actually have here is a Minn Kota battery, trolling motor battery box. So you can put a battery in this box and it has some really nice features. I've had this in several videos that I've made. You got your positive and negative to be able to connect your whatever you want to connect to it, jumper cables, whatever. Cigarette lighter port here, cigarette lighter port here. You can actually test the features. I shouldn't say features, you can test the charge. And it has a reset, and then I'm going to use diesel fuel for the combustion cycle of the diesel air parking heater doodad. So what I want to do is I want to just take a second so I can test and see basically if this heater is going to turn on. All right, positive and negative connected. We're going to basically test to see if the unit actually comes on. Let's take a look and see if we get any signs of life. Check it out. Okay. What I'm going to do is I just want to turn it on for a second to see if the fan is inside here and to see if it makes any kind of weird noises. Sometimes these things you have to adjust them so they don't make a lot. If the inside of the fan scrubs against the housing or something like that, you want to make sure. Anyway, let's see what happens. Quick press on the power. I hear the fan. No noise. I'm going to hold it. Turn it back off. Long press. Quick press. Turns it on. Long press turns it off. So yeah, I am by no means an expert, but there are little icons that show up inside on this screen, kind of give you an idea what's going on. Like you'll see the fan do its thing and spin. You'll see the fuel pump start to blink or do whatever. So you'll see a bunch of different things pop up. More information, timer. Yeah, I don't know what everything does, because the thing about some of these units in general, and this is just for all of these heaters that you may or may not see out there on the internet, these controllers do different things. Sometimes they do one thing for one particular brand, like H-Calorie. Sometimes they'll do something or have different features for another brand. So it kind of is what it is. So now that we have power applied and things work, we're going to take a second so we can pull the case off, and then we're actually going to add some diesel fuel. I'm going to do it in a way that if there's any kind of leaks or anything, it's going to minimize the diesel fuel smells. And it'll smell forever if you get it on something like carpet or whatever. So I kind of want to do this outside. So we definitely have enough fuel in it to make sure that the fuel is above the pickup line down in here. So we shouldn't get any fuel errors. Got the battery standing by. I'm gonna hook the battery up, turn this thing on, and we'll see if we need to prime the pump. So here's the fuel tank. This is the back of the fuel tank where the fuel pump is. And we need to make sure that we have fuel all the way in the green hose down to bottoms. In other words, we need to prime this pump to make sure that the unit will basically run. I don't know if this is a self-priming diesel air heater. Some are, or air. Some are. I'm not sure. There's really minimal instructions that come with these things, so it's kind of hit or miss. But people say you want to prime it, and it makes sense to me to actually have fuel in the line before it starts to do its thing. And by do its thing, I mean provide heat. All right, we got some fuel going. So how I did that with, let me swivel. It's going to be hard to see the screen. But basically how I did that was I held the OK and the down button. And the pump fired up. And it gave a little icon in here. So I think at this point we may have primed it enough because it looked like a lot of fuel was going and it has a short road to travel. Let's see what happens when we turn it on. Fan spinning icon. Guess this can take a while. I don't know. This thing's making some noise. All right. I gotta be honest with you, I don't know if this is normal or not. We'll see. You definitely want to run these things outside, at least if it's for your first time. Oh, there we go. Turbo. So it does have a little bit of a smell, and I'm assuming that it would. This is the first sort of run and burn, just to burn out all the manufacturing oils, I guess, during the production process. I'm sure a bunch of stuff gets in here, but you want to kind of run it outside, do a good burn on it for, I really don't know how long. I just would assume you'd run it long enough to where it doesn't have any kind of smell. I don't see any smoke, which is great. It's definitely getting hot. Airflow is nice. There's the pump. You can see it doing its thing. The fuel. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so with the sounds a little bit quieter, I think it's happy where it wants to be. This pipe gets hot. Zoom. It's not very bright. Probably not even in focus. There we go. So you have the pump icon down here. There's the fan spinning. So once this thing gets primed for the first time, you shouldn't have to do it again, from what I understand. And when you want to turn it off, it needs to do a cycle. You can't just turn it off or just disconnect power. You're supposed to let it do its thing so it doesn't get all sooted up, because I guess soot can be a problem with these things. So there's a lot of knowledge out there on the internet And you can always go to H Calories website and maybe learn some things too, but I think there's a Facebook group as well. Any kind of links or anything I'll include. So I'm gonna let this run for a minute, and then maybe we'll try to figure out a place to use this. It's like, do we want to install this in the van, or do we want to use it in an outbuilding? This cart is actually kind of convenient. So just to kind of go through some of the menu settings, I can't seem to lock the focus, man. Aggravating. Let's see. I guess that's the pump cycle. Yeah. See, okay, these things are kind of aggravating because you do get a little bit of an instruction manual, but it doesn't necessarily give you all the information you could want with these things. So to speak about it, I feel kind of like an idiot, because I don't know exactly what everything does, but you can adjust how hot the pump gets or how many pulses the pump makes, because you can hear the noise. Sort of, look, I'm turning it up, I guess. So lower makes it slower. I don't know if the heat output actually changes or if it's just the pump duration changes. I'm not 100% sure. This is sort of my first go around with this thing. I'm sure I can figure it out for research, but so far it's not bad. You're getting quieter, fan speed's slowing. The pump is getting really quiet now. I guess as long as you can adjust it and keep these bars lit, you'll get a full complete combustion cycle. It's not too loud. Can you hear the pump? Dum, 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 dum. That might be annoying, so maybe not to me. It's got a nice rhythm. Let's turn it up. How does this go? 5.4. Wow. Okay, so I turned it off and it looks like it's doing its thing. Keeping the fan going. So the fan that's running will sort of cool everything down. So the fan's still running to, ooh, this is a little warm, to basically cool this part down, because this is where all the magic happens, where it takes the fuel and makes the fire and blows the heat out. So when you turn it off, you want to let it run, so it can basically cool all of this. Okay, so here's my initial thoughts of this first use. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I don't know a whole lot about this sort of thing. Information's all over the place. But basically, I primed the pump. I turned it on after I filled it full of fuel, and of course connected it to a battery, and it worked. You know, I pressed the button and it got faster, and the heat output seemed to increase, or at least the fan speed did, and then pressed it again, the down arrow, and it slowed down. Pump noise is louder when it was set to blow more. But so far, yeah, I'm kind of impressed. I'm actually outside, and you could feel the heat flying off this thing. And then pressed the power button to turn it off and held it, and it did a little cool down where the fan blew and cooled it all down. So far, everything seems to be working the way it's supposed to work. So my initial thoughts is this sort of thing worth buying and using, and can you apply heat to a space that may or may not have heat, or easy to get to heat, or easy to, yeah, this thing, it's good so far. So I think I just need to try to find a place where I might want to use it, and that could be the van or it could be an outbuilding, because that's the thing. You can kind of put it anywhere, depending on how you have it set up. Actually, I have this on a cart. Yeah, it's on like a little utility cart. So effectively, I could take and set the battery in here somewhere, keep it full of fuel. And of course I'll put the cover back on it, but you know, I filled it and spilled it on the top. And diesel fuel has the unique smell that's it doesn't go away. So having this as an all-in-one setup inside my vehicle, I can see it work and I can see the allure of it. But as it sits, I'm probably not going to put this in my van. I'm actually thinking I'm going to use the diesel heater in here, because it's, you know, kind of like a carport deal, right? Kind of tarp over it and stuff to protect it so it does things. But we put stuff in here, and to be out here in the wintertime and do anything is terrible because it's cold. So let's take a deeper look. Yeah, I think it'd be pretty good. There's enough areas in the back where it comes down and seals, but it's not completely tight. It's like it's a stick, whoosh, slide in the heater hose, and it'll basically heat this whole thing. You actually shut the doors and stay warm. So we put stuff in here for the winter time. So if you ever decide to get one of these buildings, maybe from a Harbor Freight or somewhere like that, and you set them up and it's got the canvas sides or polypropylene or tarp sides, and you're worried about the thing blowing away, if you get a couple of coffee cans, like we just happen to like Folgers, you can use Folger coffee can, fill full of cement, sink some rebar in there and tie it down. So here's a better idea, right? Coffee can, there's cement in the inside, put the lid on it, put a screw or something down in there with a washer on top, and you can tie the whole thing down. So you figure these things weigh between, I don't know, 8-10 pounds at least, but they're inexpensive. So if you have a bunch of coffee cans and you're trying to figure out what to do with them aside from just putting nuts, bolts, screws, or whatever in there, do that. Works good. Put them in every corner. These also work if you do like events and things where you have a pop-up and you don't want the pop-up to blow away. Hang them up. You know, now that I look at it, you could actually just sort of park this thing and run the exhaust out and heat this whole area. So the heat will come out of the tube and get to the whole back. So if you're sitting back there in a chair, man, that might be kind of nice. You can be up here in the wintertime. Hang out. Nobody will know where you are. Like a secret. See what it does now. Oh yeah. All right, so we're like at the back of this thing. This is 10 by 20. And you can feel it back here with the doors open and it's not wrapped up or secured for winter, you know. And you can feel it at the very back. I could totally see sitting in here doing something and keeping warm. Now where we're located, we're not like in Alaska or something like that. So, I mean, yeah, this thing's actually, this is a lot better than I expected. So one thing's for sure, you gotta have a good battery though. Yeah, it's hot right here. Yeah, I'm kind of digging it. You can definitely hear the pump noise now. It's even amplified even more by going through this wire cart. Got the little wire grate stuff on it. You hear it? So, I don't know. If that bothers you, you need to fix that. You can maybe take the pump and move it somewhere or have it to where it's not actually connected to anything that'll resonate with the pump. Weird. Not a deal breaker though. This thing is putting out some heat. Oh yeah. Don't. I don't know, man. Just a little bit of battery, some diesel fuel, and a way to exhaust the bad stuff comes out of these things. Maybe a carbon monoxide detector. You can put this wherever you want. This is probably overall the least expensive way to provide heat to an area that doesn't have heat, as long as you can basically make it work. I mean, they use these, I could see using this in like in a fishing shack or an ice fishing hut thing, truck cab, RV, travel trailer, motor home, workspace like this, a pop-up somewhere. Maybe you're doing an event in the wintertime, tailgating. Yeah, this thing Yeah, as long as you have a battery and some diesel fuel, this thing should go for hours and provide heat. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed so far. Got this one through H-Calorie. Warming up my tripod. So anyway, there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's probably long, or more long than you want it to be, but there's lots of good information that comes along with it. I do appreciate H-Calorie sending me this unit to test and review. I'm actually okay with it. There's some things that the LCD screen is not as bright as it could be. That may be me, maybe a setting I haven't explored yet. I definitely see the value in this thing and how it could be used in multiple situations. I'm enjoying it. So yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. I'll try to help out as best I can, but you know, I'm not really an expert in this sort of thing. But this is a subject and a use device where you could do your research and make it fit a ton of different applications. I'm impressed. So yeah, anyway, any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. Make new videos all the time. If you're interested in this sort of thing, and this particular unit, or buying accessories, I have links that you can click on. So anyway, see you later. Take it easy. Bye-bye. Oh, if you've enjoyed this video at all, or you find any of this video useful, thumbs up, subscribe, that'd be great. I really appreciate it. So yeah, see you later.
I like peanut butter. I like peanut butter. Peanut butter. I like